Hello everybody, welcome to Weekend Update. Let's start with Bitcoin. This is daily chart of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is consolidating. Our target is 42K. It's making a flag. So also you can see it's above all moving averages. So you can see a bunch of lines here. They are moving averages. The green is 10, white is 20, yellow is 50, red is 50 SMA, and then dark blue line is 200 SMA, and then light blue line is 200 EMA. You can see it's above all the moving averages. All these averages are pointing to the upward side. This happens in a bull market. You can see when we are in a bull market, like I will show you here, all moving averages are pointed to the upside. You can see such a big gap. All are pointing upwards. So that's what we are looking at. Now it's too far away from the first, which is the fastest moving average, green. So it is possible we can consolidate a bit. Also, if I zoom out, you can see this big resistance of around 32K. It was broken in one day, but it took since May last year, 2022. We tried to go above here around April 2023, then came back again July, and now eventually we are breaking out. All right, so it was a big resistance, and now it's similar resistance is here around 42K. You can see I marked it with red. You can see very similar. This is going to be a big resistance around 42 to 40K. So that's our target for end of the year, because I'm expecting a bullish rally from here towards the end of the year. So why don't we could come back a bit. That's not going to be a surprising move. So Bitcoin is looking for Bitcoin to consolidate here. So maybe make a flag here. So what I'm expecting is to maybe like a little bit of lower if it comes back to this. So it broke out from this resistance. Now it's support. So if it comes back around 32K, it can gather energy and then it's going to go higher. All right, that's first scenario. Or second scenario is it can make a flag here. So it can also go and then it can do something like that, consolidate here, which is doing right now, maybe a little bit more, and then it's going to break out. All right, so just gather some energy, because it will give time for these moving averages to catch up. They're too far away. All these moving averages, you see, they're too far. They need to go closer to the price. Okay, so if it consolidates here, it's going to give time for these moving averages to go closer to Bitcoin, and then it's going to go higher. And then also this consolidation will give time for other altcoins like Ethereum, Polkadot, and whatnot, all other coins to bounce as well. Okay, and this is Ethereum. You can see it came to this support zone. It was here for so long, around 1500, 1550, and eventually now you can see the price is now breaking out. The price is now, if I zoom in, it's above all moving averages. The last moving average 200 SMA. It's now struggling, little bit flagging, but it's consolidating and still trying to close above that. And I'm expecting it to very soon break out. So we have higher low now. We can a little bit afford to go lower around 1700, and then our target is around 2000. That's what I'm thinking Ethereum will go do by the end of this year. So for now, look to buy the dip on Ethereum. All right, and also I have this buy signal here, which I got on 19th of October. Bitcoin, this green dot buy dot, I got it on 16th of October. Since then we are going higher. All right, guys. That's it for crypto. Now I'm going to move to traditional market, starting with S&P 500. Before I go there, let's go to NDX weekly chart. Let's take a look at weekly perspective, how things are going. Let me get out of this indicator. Let me get my other indicator, which tells me where we are. And you can see here, this indicator, I said we will try to bottom between this green line and red line. Okay, now looks like we went a little bit below, but that's fine. I really want this to now close above this this red line very soon. So it's not surprising that it went below red line. Usually try to go around the green line and try to touch red line. It went a little bit below. Let's take a look what happens in a bull market. You can see in a very strong bull market, it comes very close to red and then bounce. All right, sometimes it can go undercut it. You can see what happened here. You can see here in May 28th of May, it went below and then immediately recovered. So I really want this next week candle to be like this and bounce. All right, so you can see here, in this case, it same week managed to close above that. Here it went below, and then next week massive pump. Okay, so this is what I want to see. And so you can see here also it couple of days went below, so it is quite possible it can go below to fake out and then move higher. So just be mindful of that. But at the end, I'm expecting a bottom to form very soon. It is a little bit below my expectation, which I thought should bounce, but now this big support here, which was around 14,400, 500. Now this became resistance, so this is going to be our next resistance for Nasdaq. So this is tech sector, so we're going to make it red, and let's see. We really want to see this recover. All right. Now let's get rid of this indicator and get our other indicator, the daily chart indicator, and you can see we are now way below all the moving averages. We are too far out. Okay, so these moving averages, every time we go way below, they come back and bounce and try to go touch it. Okay. So I can expect a bounce very, very soon. Now the next resistance is here, right here around 14,500. So that's around from here to close on Friday, around 2% away. So we really want to see the price action close above that. I really want to see price action close above around 14,560, 550. That will be very good sign. And if we close above this 200 at 50 SMA red line, that will be the best case. One thing to know on a daily chart, let's quickly look at a US 500. There's no divergence, so that's a bearish news, but so we can go a little bit lower. Actually, we're finding support on this 200 SMA. That's a good news on Nasdaq. Let me go back to NDX chart to see it. So you can see here finding support on 200 SMA. This is very good time to basically best time to hold it. It really wants to hold. Now there's another gap here around 13,661. Just be mindful of that. Worst case, it could come back around 4% to fill that gap, but that's not going to be good news. But just be mindful of that. On S&P 500, you can see we are going lower, but we have little bit of divergence, slight divergence still left. And Dow Jones also, we have divergence. You can see new low with higher momentum on RSI. Russell 2000, same thing. New low with higher momentum on RSI. What does that mean? RSI is making higher low while price is making lower low. And you can see Russell is also very close to cycle low here. So I'm looking for a bounce very, very soon. So again, let's go back to SPY, which is the cash index here. So this whole support now became resistance. So let's make it red. We really want SPY to close above that to be bullish again. Until then, we got to be a bit careful here. So this projection is now needs to be adjusted. Now there is this downward sloping. This is a trend line here. Now it really wants, this should really try to close above that to be bullish again. Now it is making lower highs, lower lows. So even if we're going to go lower, there's another gap here on 404. Just remember, you can see 404 gap. Even if we want to go lower, we really want to bounce first, okay? Really want to see a bounce, regardless of if we're going to go low or no. Bounce to backtest this, and then either go low or make a higher low and then start making a bull trend, okay? One thing to note, all these yellow gaps, if I hide this yellow line, EMA lines, you can see all these are gaps. If I go to 1 hour chart, gap here, gap here, gap here, gap here. So all these will be filled, okay? I repeat, all these will be filled. So just be patient, okay? From here to the top gap, we are almost 11% away, all right? Gotta be patient, guys. Market is tricky. It's not gonna just give you exactly what everybody's expecting. They were expecting seasonality to be bullish from now until end of this year, but they're playing out, and then they're just trying to trick everybody and trying to drop, and then eventually they're going to have a massive pump to scare away all the bears. So market is just playing out. Just be patient and just hold it. I do still think we can reach a new all-time high by the end of this year. All right. Again, triple Qs, which is same as Nasdaq, same story, looking for higher lows and then break out of this resistance. And Dow Jones, US 30, again, same thing, divergences and looking for a bullish move. And then Russell 2000, like I said before, still making divergences and looking for a better move in next from now until end of this year. I'm very bullish on stock market and I don't want to short right now. VIX up, which is not good news, but it's consolidating, trying to this resistance trying to break. So let's see if it can break, or if it's going to break, if it's going to break out, or if it's going to break down. If it breaks down, cycle is saying this is where we should be topping. You can see this is a topping cycle, looking for top and then eventually go lower. All right, gold, massive move, looking for a little bit of consolidation, then bounce. Silver trying its best to go above this white trend line, but let's see when that happens. Natural gas, buy the dip. Everything is looking good. Target is this one, so buy all the dips. Natural oil, crude oil, just consolidating, like I said, and then making a bear flag before it breaks down. Dollar index, this could be a higher low, but this looks like a higher high, but this could be a fake out move. I really want this to break down. If it breaks down, that's going to be very bullish for gold and crypto. And we covered Bitcoin and Ethereum. Let's look at Apple. Apple in the resistance zone. So want this to break out to be bullish again. Let's see when we can do it. But right now this support became resistance. Tesla up 0.75%, massive gaps to fill. So let's see if it can fill that. Netflix also finding support on this 50 daily SMA line and this 50 daily EMA line, finding support here, looking for it to bounce very, very soon. Microsoft also consolidating, nothing changed. There was a gap here. If I go to 1 hour chart, the earnings gap, this was the gap up. They came and filled it. And even here we had gap up and they came and filled it. So there are no gaps on Microsoft, looking for a new price here. Google also gap down, looking for a massive gap down from the top now to the bottom. Google is almost around 13-14%, looking for this massive pump to happen very soon. Meta in the support box. Okay, earnings were good. Still, market is punishing. I don't know why, but everything is looking good. Back in support, so looking for a bounce. Amazon massive pump, gap up. So you can see this projection gap up. We can afford to have a little bit of pullback and then bounce. Snowflake's also looking good. This is a gap here, but I'm looking for higher prices. NVDA consolidating. It's possible we can come down to fill this gap before we go higher. AMD also this massive resistance now. So let's see if it can break that resistance. Until then, we got to be careful on AMD. Let's see, but that's what I'm expecting. Let's go to 1 hour chart. Is there a gap? A little bit of gap here, so maybe it will come down a little bit and then go higher. All right. Toronto Stock Exchange just keep going down, but there's divergence, so that's a good news. You can see RSI has divergence, market is going down with divergence. Now the only bad news is, let's see if this can still be a support area. You can see this still can act as a support area. This whole area from here till this does act like a support, so this is why you really want to buy. XIC is the ETF if you want to buy. XIC, all right? This is for Canadian market. XIC is the ETF. All right. Let's keep moving. Hang Seng Index breaking, back testing. You can see this dotted trend line broke out. Back test now, just back test. This is Chinese tech sector, Hang Seng Index like S&P 500. So keep that in mind. Bonds consolidating with divergence. You can see new lows with higher momentum on our RSI. So just consolidating and can break out. Copper, all right, in the buy zone. This is a buy zone, so you got to buy in the buy zone. Palladium, resistance here, so it's trying to go up to resistance to backtest, and wheat also just consolidating. It needs to close above this 50 EMA and SMA. Until that happens, just be patient. And corn also consolidating, looking for higher prices. Soybeans also consolidating in the buy zone. Sugar also looking for a dump, basically back to this trend line to buy again and then bounce. All right. IWM, sorry, I already covered that. Oil miners, gold miners, Newmont mine, biggest gold miner, massive bounce, almost 4% bounce. So news are, I don't know what's happening. So looking for a little bit of pullback before it can bounce. So let's go to 1 hour chart. This gap is filled actually, so we have to delete this. And looking for a little bit pullback before we bounce. Gold miners, GDX, we got this pullback. Now looking for lower, higher prices here. All right. Let's quickly look at sectors. XLK looking for bounce on the support area here around 200 EMA. XLE energy sector. So now it looks like it wants to come and fill this gap and then go higher. XLV gap down again. Wait for it to go back above this trend line. Just keep going down. There's no divergence, which is bad news. So maybe it will bounce short term and then come down again. So it looks like it can bounce to fill this gap, come down again and then go higher. All right, to make some divergence. XLU utility sector, same thing here. It could be possible this is it, and then we're going higher. Industrial sector also new low, still divergence, so that's good news. So still looking for a bounce. Real estate sector, gap here, looking for basically still divergence, new low on divergence, so which is good news. Looking for this to break this downward line very soon. And financial sector breaking down, looks like now it looks like it wants to fill this gap for sure before it can go higher. That's now done for sure. 30.89 is where you want to buy. KRE also looks like it wants to fill this gap before it can go higher. All right, so keep that in mind. Shopify filled, there was this earnings gap, fully filled. Now there's another small gap, so I think it's going to fill around $45. That's your best case to buy before a bounce happens. All right, guys. Okay, so let's quickly look at short-term zones. By the way, guys, if you like the content, hit the like button. If you want to subscribe, there's a link in the description. You can subscribe to my channel, and it's free, and you can chat with me. And also, if you want to know zones, I released Friday a pre-market video zones I share with my subscribers that can help you with the zones to buy or sell same day for day trading, and you can make money for on one trade for the entire subscription fee. Okay, it's very cheap. So join it, join. You can hit the join button below. All right, so US 500 closed on the buy zone. So you want a green lines are the buy zone, red lines are the sell zone, closed right on the buy zone. Nasdaq 100 in the middle, neutral zone. Dow Jones in the buy zone, so and Russell 2000 is also in the buy zone. All right, so let's quickly look at MNQ. Nasdaq, that's also well, it's near neutral zone, so you wait for it to go below 14149. NQ, Nasdaq, E-mini future, same thing, wait for it to go below 14152. And ES, which is S&P 500, is in the buy zone 14131. And MES is also now looking like it's also touching the buy zone. So these are good zones to buy. And also Bitcoin is now in the middle. Ethereum is also in the middle near neutral zone. All right, guys, I wish you all happy weekend, and please hit the like button and share with your friends and family. I will see you on Monday. Bye.